and we are back again with more Next Door news. You thought it was over, didn't you? But here I go again, imposing upon you the Next Door news. And I'll tell you, we'll go a little intro before we get into the meat of this. I've been, I used to go to four different stores, okay? Four. And I would get four kinds of items for foods. So one week I would cook my own food, right? I have a casserole recipe book, right? I use hamburger helper, I would use chicken helper, tuna helper, rice-a-roni, whatever worked, okay? Or make something from the Tomb Raider cookbook, right? I have different recipes. I just put something together, okay? Some of you made shitty comments, some of you made nice comments. So I made casseroles one week, and then the next week I would get like Japanese food. I would go to Little Tokyo. I do not do that anymore. But I would go to Little Tokyo and get some Japanese style food. The third week I would get sandwiches. Just make sandwiches. Sandwich all week. Then the last week of the month I would get takeout food. No real food at the grocery store, or maybe some like microwave pizza. And then I would just get like McDonald's or Carl's Jr. or Jack in the Box or whatever. So I would get four different types of foods, and I would go to different stores. I used to go to just Albertsons or just Food for Less. I used to go to Food for Less, and they had the no backpack rule. I told them to go fuck themselves. Same thing with Little Tokyo. So Little Tokyo and Food for Less had the no backpack rules. And I'm like, well, I guess I'm just going to get three kinds of items now. So now I go to Ralph's, I go to Albertsons, and I go, Target. So I'll go to Target, I'll go to Ralph's and Albertsons for all my groceries. And I alternate different places, different times. So yeah, I'm never in the same place. And I'll get sandwiches, I'll get ready to make food that's microwavable, or, it's in a can, or I will cook my own food. And I'm okay with this system that I put in place. It's not perfect, but it's fine. So I go to Ralph's, okay, and it's just I think they had the no backpack rule on the one that's near East LA College, and then the pandemic happened, and then they were like, "Oh, people aren't coming back." Well, you fucked off. You flipped off the people who were probably there to buy food. Now they say people steal. I said people could steal without the fucking backpacks. People have stolen without the backpacks. Watch any news story. I told this. I'll get into it in a little bit. But you look at the Nordstrom incident. Remember the Nordstroms? Remember Black Friday when people went to Nordstrom's and stole so many expensive things that were worth more than about like an aisle and a half? I mean, you think of the Gucci, you think of the Coach, you think of Chanel products, right? Chanel. There are like products that are the size of a baseball from Chanel that are worth like more than like one or two stuff in a supermarket aisle, and people just stole it. Backpacks, maybe they had purses. They just grabbed stuff, got in the getaway cars, and fucked right off. So after 2020, I think people just shut the fuck up and let anybody come in and shop. Okay, I'm not going to leave my backpack at some counter where it can get stolen. There's no fucking way. Fuck me, fuck you. I can go to this other store. They'll get my money. You don't get shit. Okay, that's how it's going to have to be, because that rule had been in place since I was 18. I'm almost 46, and that rule still doesn't make any sense to me. I used to be. I mean, when I was a kid, I didn't know my head from my ass. Mi cabeza de mi nalgas. Okay. No. Supe mierda. Nothing. Okay. Now I do. Now I start saying stuff. But there was something when I went to my Ralph's, and it wasn't the Ralph's at near Elac. It was a different Ralph's, and I noticed this. Now I was gonna take a picture, but there were too many people crowded around my Ralph's that I couldn't take a clear picture of this. So that's like a computer room, but imagine that's a store aisle, right? Imagine that is a supermarket aisle full of food. Actually, it's not even full of food. It's full of like first aid, beauty care, hair care, soap. That aisle, that aisle of the supermarket where you see soap, you see alcohol, disinfectant. You'll see mouthwash, toothpaste, toothbrushes, combs, shampoos, conditioners. So that's that aisle, right? And there are glass doors installed on one end with yellow tape that says "Do not cross," like police tape. And, and this police tape makes an X on the door. So I couldn't take a clear picture of it. Um, and I didn't realize I had the flash on too. So I said, okay, I better not make a scene. Because there's people like, there's like, it gets crowded in that back part of the Ralph's that I was at. So the doors are there on one side, but like I said, that's strange. As I do my monkey head scratching my head, why would there be doors there? So I go around. So I finally like they told me, okay, so they're gonna like check people out. So there's like a concierge now. There's a concierge by the first aid and body hair care product, so that you pick up an item, you have to check it out there. You have to check it out there. I mean, it doesn't stop anybody from running out with that stuff, but you have to check it out there. Um, so and it's not anybody's job to go and stop anybody from stealing. Um, and I guess that's a rule I would have to respect. If I was working at a supermarket, I would have to respect that rule too, unless of course said thief would put his hands on one of the coworkers. Then it's like, well, if there's no security guard, I'm not going to watch somebody get killed. I could lose my job, but I better that he steals something than kill somebody, right? There's a big difference. Even comic books and television know that, right? But that's a whole thing. So no, you have to check. So whenever you pick up any alcohol product or not an alcoholic product, rubbing alcohol, disinfectant, sanitizer, soap, toothpaste, toothbrush, mouthwash, um, depends, tampons, makeup. Anytime you get that stuff, you have to check it over there so that you're not stealing it. It's not a great system, but it's there. So you can't just go through the other way. So they blocked off one end of the aisle with glass doors and yellow tape, and the other end has a concierge there. Now, this kind of supplements my Target where everything's locked behind glass cases. Kind of similar to these glass cases where you see the computer, the wires and all that stuff. It's like everything's locked behind a case, and you press a button to get somebody to come and unlock the door so that you could pick out like razor products and stuff, because people have been stealing this shit. So at Target or Ralph's, people have been stealing razors, shaving foam, shaving cream, rubbing alcohol, toothpaste, all this stuff. They've been stealing it. Okay, shampoo, they've been stealing it. Conditioner, they've been stealing it. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? So I don't know what's going to happen starting from this year onward. CVS Pharmacy, Target, Walmart, Safeway, if it's still around, Ralph's, Vaughn's, Food for Less, they got their problems, right? Uh, Super A Foods, there's a Super A Foods nearby me. Different supermarkets, Albertson, Smart and Final, there's going to be more rules into place in which you have to check that stuff out. I told the guy about the no backpack rule. He's a handsome young dude, about 20, 21, probably in his early 20s, probably hasn't hit 24, 25 yet. I told him, the people that came up that enforced the no backpack rules are a bunch of fucking inbreds. I told it to him. I mean, at 46, I don't give a shit anymore. I don't care. I don't care anymore. I don't care anymore. I just told him. And, he didn't get mad about it, but he just was like, they have to make sure people don't steal. And it's like anybody can steal. Anybody has. And I told him about the Nordstrom incident, the getaway cars. And it's like, yeah. And middle-aged white people stole shopping carts full of boxed Tide. Remember that? Remember when people were stealing Tide? People were stealing Tide out the door. These were middle-aged white people, not crazy black people, which, you see them stealing sunglasses and shit and phones. But hey, there's video footage of that. Look it up. And there's video footage of white people stealing shopping carts full of Tide. Okay? And given any right opportunity, I'm sure Mexicanos will steal shit too, and they have. But it's ridiculous. So I don't know what we've become. How do I personally feel about it? I'm appalled. I don't think it's all Ralph's. I don't think they're being fucking inbreds this time. I think they were being inbreds along with Little Tokyo, about the and Food for Less. Fuck you, Food for Less, about the no backpack rule. Okay, just because there was an incident where people were stealing backpacks doesn't mean everybody's doing that. And you have to understand, a backpack is on your back. You have to pull the backpack over. You have to get, if you're wearing it on both straps, you have to take off the backpack, throw it into the front of you, open the backpack and throw things in, then put it back on your back. That takes a few moves. Okay? It's like if a murder if a murder was made to look like a suicide, and the knots are funny, like when somebody dies, but the shoelaces were tied. If you're left-handed, you're tying it one way, but then someone else is tying it another way, so then it looks like he changed the clothes. This is a Columbo thing I just observed. But anyway, it takes a lot for someone with a backpack to steal. Okay. Whereas with someone with a purse, and I've seen women with purses, okay, the size of small dogs, and they put small dogs in there. Women with purses could just open the zipper, put a product in there, close the zipper, and walk out like nothing happened. And nobody could see what they're doing. And trust me when I tell you, even with this system in place, they can fucking do it. They will fucking do it. Okay? They could just take the product, put it in the bag, and the concierge isn't watching constantly. Okay? So, I mean, I always think maybe security guards could just walk around, but, because I remember Target used to have security guards that would check. There used to be security guards at my local Target to check, receipts and bags and things like that. Fedco used to have it. Fedco's gone. But they used to have security guards at the front. I said, because they'll check for these things. And their job is to stop you. Their fucking job is to stop you. Okay? They have to do that. Like workers, employees, cashier people cannot stop someone if they steal. I mean, it'd be great if there was a security guard. That way, if somebody steals, you go, hey, hey, you go, hey, hey, and then security guard's like, okay, you know what I mean? I still think of the security guard Enrique who was working at the all boys school that I used to go to school, and he wasn't much. He would just be like, you got your ID, all right. He would check like the students would leave the campus, but he's like, you got your ID, all right, you got your ID. Sometimes he would check, and most times he wouldn't fucking check. He never knew what he would check, So, in conclusion, I know this has not been an exciting topic, but this might be happening at your Ralph's or your local supermarket where either there's doors on one end of the aisle, or if you're at a Target, they have everything locked behind cases. And I think at the Albertsons they have a lot of things behind glass cases. I think namely the Tide Pods. There's just different rules. But look, the reason I carry my backpack is I still don't have a fucking car now. And it's too much maintenance and too much work to go get a car. I'm okay with that. But I still have to carry things around. And it's not easy to do it. And I do it every week. And I'm okay with doing it every week. And sometimes everything hurts on my body. And other times everything's fine. And the good news is I spent like under $70, like $63 worth of food. Whereas sometimes I would spend like $130, $120, or $100. But I save my money. I save my money, as Uncle Tim would say. Fam, I save my money. That guy's on a moon landing conspiracy theory trip. There, you can look that up. His action figures and shit. But yeah, so that's it. So that's tonight's topic. I'll do a review of the second round of Netflix shows. All right.